Yo, what is poppin', guys? It is your boy Ashley, and today we are bringing you our Week 5 match of the IBA. I believe it's our Week 5 match. Yes, it is our Week 5 match because we are it's our Week 6 match because I'm 2-3 currently. Really would like to win this one to get back above differential. That would be really clean, but obviously Aaron is a good battler. I've probably met Aaron in league format more than I've met most other people, especially after this week where we play twice. We play in the MPL and the IBA. I'm not going to talk about the MPL game because it will be uploaded after this game comes out. But let's just say that overall, because I mean, if you can go back on my channel and see that overall, Aaron and I have a very mixed record. I think MPL in this game notwithstanding, I think I have beaten him once and he has beaten me twice. I'm fairly certain that's what it was, but they're usually pretty close games, so very, very excited to be going up against him this week. I always enjoy playing friends. So I don't have, again, my exact sets, but I do have a pretty good general idea for my sets. I have 4 of my sets exact and then a couple that I have I'm a little iffy on. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. We have our Comfy. I'll talk about Comfy first because I really like this Comfy set. This is Pixie Plate with Triage. It's got 244 in HP, a little bit of defensive bulk, a little bit of special defensive bulk. Actually, it's max defensive bulk with just a tiny bit of special defensive bulk. Bold Nature. It has Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, Synthesis, and Leech Seed. So basically, I was going to try and take advantage of the Blastoise to try and set up on this thing and get some Calm Minds up, start doing some damage with the Draining Kiss, be able to Leech Seed to get that a little bit of extra recovery back. You know, general Comfy stuff, pretty much what you would expect from a Comfy. And yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of speedy things on this team, and while I do have the speed pass option, I did not bring it this week, so all my speed is going to be relying in Infernape and Scolipede. So I'm really happy that the Comfy this week at least has a little bit of priority to help me with my team because he does have agility on the Blaziken. As you guys know by watching these videos by now, you can definitely pass speed in the IBA. So he has the ability to pass speed with his Blaziken with the agility. He has the Aerodactyl, which is definitely very fast. He has the option to scarf a lot of things. He has Zeraora, and Sneasel, which are both very fast. So he's got a really quick team. It was nice to have priority. I've talked enough about Comfy. Next up, we have Escavalier. This is an AV Escavalier with Mega Horn, Iron Head, Knockoff, and Drill Run. So this thing can really hit everything on his team for pretty hard, and it can tank a lot of hits in return. Basically, as long as it isn't a fire type attack, I can tank it. So I can definitely do some setting up on that Sneasel. I can do some setting up on the Aerodactyl. I can set up on the Bulu. Well, not set up, but I can start laying off some damage. I can force switches and do all that sort of thing. I can imagine that his main switch in to this Escavalier is probably going to be the Blastoise or the Blaziken, and I'm so confident that he is not going to outright attack with the Blaziken that I would be willing to just stay in with the Escavalier and hit Earthquake. So not Earthquake, Drill Run, because after Rocks that would, I think, knock him out for sure, as if he, as long as he's not like max HP. So I really liked being able to finally bring Escavalier to a match. Next up, we have our Electros set, which is AV as well. We have 2 AV mons this week. This boy has Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Knockoff, and HP Ice with most of his bulk and defense. Now, I brought HP Ice on a lot of different things this week because he does have a Salamence, but as you see, he did not bring it. So lots of amazing, which is almost a decent move because I'm forced to run HP with my team. I'm forced to run HP Ice. So if he can bring a lot of things that can handle my team, forced to 3 move slots, then that's not a bad strategy. But the Salamence could have definitely put in a lot of work on my team. I'm very glad he didn't bring it. This Electros is defensive with the AV to just be overall bulky. It has the ability to Volt Switch out. He does have the electric immunity in Zeraora, but I'm really happy to get a knockoff on that thing because if it is Choice Specs or Choice Scarf or Choice Band or anything like that, it's just going to be really nice to get that off and kind of neuter the set in general because it is a strong mon, but one of those mons that can definitely be neutered pretty easily if you can get the item off of it. We have our mixed Infernape. This is a Choice Scarf with Blaze for those for that low HP boost. He has Hidden Power Ice again for the Salamence, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, and U-Turn. Just the ability to maintain a little bit of Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I had to cough. Just the ability to maintain a little bit of momentum, as well as dealing just tons of damage, being able to outspeed everything on his team pretty much. It's not Choice Scarf itself. Choice Scarf Aerodactyl could give me a little bit of issues, but other than that, this Infernape can take on everything else pretty well. So not really a whole lot more to say about that. Finally, we have the last two. We have our Scolipede. This Scolipede has enough speed to outspeed everything on his team after a +1. I wasn't bringing it in on Aerodactyl. I wasn't bringing it in on Blaziken, so I wasn't really super concerned with outspeeding those mons, even though I can outspeed Blaziken fairly easily. So I put as much as I could this week into HP after Max Attack Adamant. So Max Attack Adamant Scolipede does a lot of work. It does the finest of work to this team. So I brought Swords Dance, Rock Slide, Mega Horn, and Earthquake with the Rockium Z. The reason I like Rockium Z is because it can take out the Aerodactyl, it can take out the Salamence 100%, it can take out the Sneasel, it can secure me KOs on a lot of mons that I don't necessarily want to hit a Mega Horn on or go for the Mega Horn roll. Like Salamence, the Mega Horn is not going to knock it out. The Earthquake obviously can't hit it, and Rock Slide does, I think, 102 max. It's a roll in his favor to live. So I definitely just needed the Z, the Rockium Z, in order to knock out the Salamence, or really just secure the kill on anything, because the Rockium Z just hit much more on his team than Buginium Z did, or the Groundium Z did. So finally, we have Gliscor. This is Toxic Orb, Toxic, EQ, Stone Edge, and Rocks. So we have no removal this week. He thankfully only has Rocks on Arrow, so don't have to worry about him trying to hazard stack or anything like that. But it is a little unfortunate that we can't. I always do like to pack defog, but this week I just didn't feel it to be super necessary. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I have Stone Edge to hit the Aerodactyl because I imagine he'd probably leave with it. I have Earthquake to hit everything else that I really need to hit. I have Toxic for expected Bulu switch-ins or expected Blastoise switch-ins. And I obviously have Rocks to get off Rocks on my own. So, without further ado, we will go ahead and get into his game. I guess I'll talk about real quick the things on his team that made me nervous. The Agility Blaziken set could definitely put in a lot of work. And an Agility Pass set could definitely put in a lot of work, because there's a lot of the mons on his team, like Bulu could definitely put in a lot of work late game if he passed into it. Passing into Mega Blastoise could definitely hurt, because if he could outspeed my Infernape and just start smacking down, if I couldn't come into Scolipede and immediately lay down the pressure and knock it out, because from full, a Mega Horn is a roll, so I have to get chip on this Blastoise in order to knock it out. That was one of the downsides of not going Buginium Z. So very nervous about the speed passing. The speed passing realm of it. Very nervous about Zeraora, because if my Gliscor goes down, it can really do a lot of work to my team. Hopefully a Scavalier can wall it, but, you know, or hopefully the Electros can wall it as well. I mean, we've got a couple of answers, but overall, just not knowing this mon is very scary to me. So, without further ado, we will just go ahead and hop right into it. I'm going to go ahead and lead my Gliscor, thinking he is going to lead Aerodactyl, and he does. So here I decide I just want to go for the Stealth Rocks in case he tries to just go for the Ice Fang turn 1. Doesn't matter, I can just do a significant amount with Stone Edge next turn. Now see, this was actually a bit of a misplay, because had I gone for the Stone Edge here, I would have had to make him choose between setting up Rocks, right, or what he does on the next turn, because now I did get the damage off. I would have 2-hit KO, but he gets the Tailwind up. So had I Stone Edge turn 1 predicting the taunt, which I did predict the taunt, I just thought that on the off chance he didn't, I would throw up my Rocks. I never assumed that the other person is gonna make a bad play, because it rarely ever happens that way. Because now he has the Tailwind up, everything on his team pretty much can outspeed this Gliscor, and it is looking to be a bit of an issue. Turn 1, this lead Aerodactyl has already put on an immense amount of pressure. So definitely in hindsight, I should have just Stone Edge twice, because that would have made him choose between Tailwind or Rocks. And I think he would have chosen Rocks for the longevity, and it would have made this next part a little bit easier to manage. So here he is going to go into the Blastoise. Now, I make a horrible play here. I stay in and click Toxic as he just Ice Beams and rips me. Now, to be fair, this is my excuse for this. I just gotten off work. I got back home. I sat down to play this game. I'm really excited. I'm I'm a little shook off the misplay, because as soon as he hit the tailwind, I was like, damn, I definitely should have Stone Edge turn 1. I was feeling a little down on myself, but he brings in the Blastoise, and I'm like, okay, great. I just need to chip down this Blastoise, because Scolipede can definitely win. With the Aerodactyl gone, the only thing that really threatens my Scolipede is this is the Blaziken. So I feel like I can, you know, get a nice little bit of what's it called? Get a nice little bit of chip, wear down this Blastoise, make it to where it can't just sit in and spam moves on me, essentially. But as soon as I clicked Toxic, I was like, oh shit, no wait, it's got Scald, it's got Ice Beam, back, and he had clicked his move. So if you watched my MPL video earlier this week, you'll see that I kind of had the same mistake in that game, where I just clicked the move and immediately went to change it, but the opponent had already made their move very quickly. That's just a matter of needing to think for a little bit more before I click. That's just obviously something that's going to come with time. It's definitely unfortunate, but we have lost our Gliscor, which really sucks. So I'm just going to go right here into our Electros. Now I'm going to go Knockoff, because I feel like he's going to predict me to either Thunderbolt or Volt Switch, which is the obvious play there. And this is going to get rid of the Expert Belt. So obviously not as good as getting rid of like a Choice Scarf or something like that, but still great to maybe live a couple of more hits and stuff like that. So he's going to go right here for the Knockoff. Now by my calc, Superpower doesn't kill, but the thing I didn't know is that Zeraora actually gets Fire Punch. So that's a Scavalier gone. Really shitty, because it could have done a lot of work against Bulu, but it is already gone. So now I'm just going to go for the close combat here. If he is not HP invested on his Blastoise, then I'm going to do a little over 50, but as you can see, he is defensively invested, so he is going to take 41% from that, which is fine. I can just go right out to my Comfy. I really don't mind about catching a Toxic or anything like that on here, or catching a Skull Burn, I'm sorry, and I can just freely Synthesis up right here and not really have to worry about it. He's going to Scald again, not getting the burn, and here I pretty much just think that he is probably going to switch out, because he didn't get the burn that time, and I'm just going to go for the Calm Mind, because even if he had, we can just Synthesis and get back up. Now, I don't really want to play games with this Bulu right now. I am just going to go right back into my, what's it called? You heard me. My Electros, as he is just going to Rock Slide and Wood Hammer. Now what that tells me is that the best move he has to hit my Comfy is Rock Slide, which is not bad at all, but I want to scare him out. I'm going to go right here into my Infernape, and I'm going to hit U-Turn, which he definitely predicts really nicely. I think he knew that I wasn't going to lock myself into what's it called, Flare Blitz, and just decided to stay in and throw off the Rock Slide. Maybe he has the Aqua Berry or something and lives, but who knows. I'm just going to Synthesis up here, as he's going to hit the Horn Leech, do 49%, and that is going to be a little bit too much damage for me. So I'm going to Synthesis again, kind of hoping he gets the low roll, and he is actually going to go right out into Blaziken. So, I'm sorry, I Draining Kiss there to get a little bit of health back, which is nice. Does a little bit of chip to it, and he sets up the Agility. So here I feel like he's probably going to set up the Agility, and I know that without a Swords Dance, he doesn't kill me, and so I'm going to get the Leech Seed off in case he decides to pass. So I'm very scared that he is going to decide to pass into something, and he is just going to set up another Agility. So now I know that since he hasn't set up the Swords Dance, he's definitely going to be passing into something, and I decide to set up the Calm Mind, because whatever it is isn't really going to, it can't take me out from full. It's not going to want to take a +1 Draining Kiss, and as you're going to see, he is going to go out into Bulu. So now we're at full health with a Calm Mind up against Bulu, and I like those odds, especially since we have the Leech Seed and the Grassy Terrain. So he's going to be doing more with his Grass type moves, obviously because of the Grassy Terrain, but as you can see, we're going to get Leech Seed and Grassy Terrain and go from a nice little 28% all the way up to 49%, which is absolutely fantastic. And now we can just fire off a Synthesis. We are at +2, so if we can catch him slipping, we can do a little bit of magic. So there he is going to Horn Leech, do 50%. I could play around and try and Calm Mind when he goes for the Horn Leech, but that would put me into range almost certainly of him being able to knock me out with the Wood Hammer. So really nice that I got the crit there, because as I find out from this damage, he is actually an Assault Vest Bulu, which is definitely scary, but I'm kind of showing that I can 1v1 it, and it also tells me that he does not have Toxic, which is super nice. So he will not be able to Toxic me and stall me out with the Wood Hammers and stuff like that. He is going to take a lot of recoil right there. He is going to get the Grassy Terrain back, which is nice, because that's going to also give me the Leech Seed. He would have died to the Leech Seed, I guess, without the Grassy Terrain, and here he's actually going to get a crit. Bring me all the way down to 4%, which really sucks. But I am at +2/+2, which is super nice. So he is going to go right here into Zeraora. I am just going to Draining Kiss for the damage. I don't think that I live a hit if I had Synthesis, or at least not well enough to start trying to Calm Mind up. It was just playing around what was going to be that exact same thing happening, is just Draining Kissing once and getting him to 17. So here I'm going to fire off the Close Combat so that I can take out the Zeraora or 2-hit KO the Blastoise, which was really nice. He knows okay, so he knows that I could 2-hit KO the Blastoise, which is why he sacked off the Zeraora there, which was a nice play on his part. So now I'm faced with the decision, and it's a fairly simple one. Because I cannot take out this Blastoise with a Close Combat, I don't think preserving this Infernape is the right move. He could be Choice Scarf Sneasel and be able to outspeed me and hit me with a knockoff, or I don't know. Basically, if I switch out, I'm coming back in, I'm taking rocks. The Blaziken probably will be able to live any hit I would be able to go for, I think. And the Sneasel, I mean, there's a lot of options, basically, is what I'm trying to say, for him to take out my Infernape. But if I can Close Combat again, put him within range to where I can Mega Horn, then, or I mean, I could Mega Horn now, right? But I don't want to switch into my Scolipede because it will take rocks and whatever attack he wants to go for, and that would be really bad for us because he would just be able to basically wear down my Scolipede. If he had some sort of priority on the Blaziken, I'm not sure if it gets priority, but it definitely could. And he has Ice Shard on the Sneasel, which will do, I think, 33%. So if he can, you know, with rocks and Scald and all that kind of things, bring me down or get a burn on me, for God's sake, we'd be screwed. So I choose here to just Close Combat again and sack off the Infernape, just getting chip on the Blastoise. Trying to maybe use a roll to get in Earthquake range, and I was technically in Earthquake range based on my calcs that I made, but I did not want to risk that whatsoever. I know Mega Horn can miss, but it was just overall my best play, and I went for it, and I hit it, which is super nice, because now we're at +1. We're going to outspeed this Blaziken. We're going to outspeed this Sneasel, right? So the only thing I'm worried about is, and I mean, I can Earthquake this Blaziken and take it out, which is fantastic. The crit definitely did not matter. We do about 70%, I think, to the Blaziken. So now we're at +2. We'll be able to outspeed a Choice Scarf Sneasel, and all we have to do is hit our Rock NDMZ. He doesn't Ice Shard because he does the calcs and he knows. He was banking on me missing Mega Horn because he did not know I had Rock Slide and Rock NDMZ, but we were just going to throw it off, lock it up, and win the game. So that was a super close game. That was a fantastic game. Shout out to Aaron. That was one of my favorite games I've had in a while. It was a very close win, which I definitely needed. I've been on a bit of a losing streak lately, and this was absolutely fantastic. I was really happy with how this game played out. Shout out to Aaron. If you guys don't follow, you know, if you guys aren't subbed to him, I don't know why you're subbed to me. I mean, you know, I feel like, I mean, I do, you know, obviously I make great content. You guys wouldn't be here if I didn't make great content, but my boy Aaron is making fire content. He's in a bunch of great leagues. He's P4G. I love watching his IBA videos as well as his P4G videos. I love watching his Wi-Fi battles. He's doing soul links, all sorts of stuff like that. You should definitely check him out. He's super active in the community and overall one of my better friends. So you should definitely check him out. But now this is going to bring us to 3-3 in the IBA. So we are even at week 6, which is absolutely fantastic. Because if you remember, I was talking about in my last video versus the OPJellicent that was my main goal in this league was to go neutral or positive, and halfway through the season we are pretty much right on track. So we definitely have some hard games coming up. I believe we play, who do we play next week? I'm not remembering off the top of my head who I play next week, but it's definitely going to be a nice little battle for sure. I'm stalling while I look at my phone so I can tell you because I was just talking about it earlier. Oh, I play Easy, so I'm definitely worried about that matchup. I know Easy is a fantastic battler and also a good friend of mine, so feels good. Feels good to get a win. Shout out to Aaron again. Shout out to Odds for making the layout. I love these layouts. It looks so clean. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. You will see IBL tomorrow where we face off against Caleb, coach of the Kansas City Nido Kings, and NPL sometime the week after that, where I will again be facing Aaron 2420, and he is bringing the Naganadel next time, so definitely stick around to watch that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, you know how it goes. I will see you guys next time. Peace.